Women Matters in the end of November 2025. And I'm so glad that Beatrice came after a long time we didn't see her. So we decided to do it public today and see what is going on. Would you like to do the check-in, Beatrice, first of us? Last arrived, the first check-in?
Um, sure. Hello.
Hello.
I just woke up. It is 9:05.
9:05, yeah.
Um, I have been working on La Boheme recently, and so my sleep schedule is all crazy because I've been in the theater and staying up pretty late. Um, it's a beautiful opera. The work is very hard. Um, we opened 2 days ago. No, last night? No, 2 days ago. Yeah. And we have two shows this week and then it's done, which it's always strange to me how much work is put in for so little performance. Um, I've been on this contract for over a month, working 6 days a week, you know, up to 10 hours a day, only one day off a week. And yeah, I don't know. We do three shows. Um, So that's mostly been my whole world. As soon as that closes, I go into Nutcracker land. Um, Immediately the next day, I'm back at work at the ballet. So, what else? It's gray. I don't like the winter here. It's very gray. I miss the sunshine. It gets dark very early. Um, and I don't know, but otherwise life is good. I, you know, I have good people in my life and painting my room today, and I don't know.
So is today your day off?
Yeah, I've got a few days off now. We have a brush up rehearsal on Wednesday, and then we have a show on Friday. So I get a couple days. I'm trying to, but I'm not. My sleep schedule's all wonky, and I haven't done laundry in 3 weeks, and it's one of those times. So I'm trying to. This week, people kept asking me, "Oh, what are you doing on your days off?" And I said, "I think I'm cleaning the house."
Going grocery shopping.
Yeah. So, I think that's about it for me for the moment until I think of something else. I'll pass it. Would it first in, out, whatever your rule is. Who came on before me?
Can I just ask you a question? So is this the Portland Ballet that is doing La Boheme and
Portland
Nutcracker?
Opera.
Portland Opera. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
And what is
They reached out to me this summer. I'm one of the assistant stage managers. So in opera, there's two of them. There's one calling stage manager, and there's two assistant stage managers, one on each side of the stage, and one is mostly responsible for costumes, and one is mostly responsible for props. I'm the props one. But we also in opera, you have to cue the performers to come on stage, which is very different from ballet too. So we both have our scores open, we're following along and sending people on stage, and there's a huge amount of props, including real food. So yeah, chicken and potatoes and vanilla pudding and bread and wine, which is cranberry grape juice, and champagne, which is Martinelli's. And yeah.
Can I
So
also ask a question? You said you are going in Nutcracker land. What is that?
it just means that I'm gonna be I go straight back to the ballet, and when I get back, we have 1 week before we go into tech, and then we'll have 19 shows of Nutcracker between now and Christmas Eve.
Because Nutcracker land for me would be Russia, because
Oh, I see. No, my whole world is gonna be Nutcracker every day of the week.
okay, good, thank you.
Heidi, do they do Nutcracker around the holidays where you are? That's a
I don't
big
know.
tradition here.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in the countryside. There's no ballet at all. So maybe
Or
in Rome, maybe
performances.
in the
Yeah.
big cities, but not here. I'm not really following it. My my theater has become internet, you know. Everything goes on internet, concerts. I watch the concerts live, many concerts live, many concerts not live. And also ballets sometimes on Medici.tv is wonderful channel for classical music and for ballets, and it's really good. So I see these things, but hardly ever I go into theater now. It was different when I still was in Berlin. I was in opera twice a week or in a concert, but times change.
Mhm.
Would you like to continue, Christine?
Yeah, I'll check in. Today we are starting the remodel of our master bathroom. So I'm glad I'm not there. I'm in my office right now. I'll be here all day. Tom's at home. He's going to have to deal with the noise and the dirt and all of that. So it was a busy weekend, not relaxing at all because we were getting everything out of our closet and out of the bathroom to prepare for its destruction. And yeah, so it was a lot of work. What else? So I've been working on trying to get better at coherence.
Mhm.
So, I mean, Tom is so into integral, and he's been suggesting that I could become a little bit more, what would the word be? Adept, capable at matching his coherence. And I find it very difficult. He's much more reactive and emotional than I am. I'm kind of like this steady person, and he's reacts a lot more. So I would love any tips from the group about how to access that, how to be aware of it. He seems to be aware of it in ways that I just don't pick up on. And whether it's a look or something he says or something that happens, he'll go, didn't you feel that? And I'm like, no, I didn't. So I would love any tips from those of you who know how to get to coherence. That would be great. But other than that, I'm counting down the weeks. I think maybe I have about 6 more weeks at work till the end of December. So yeah, I'm counting them. But everything else is good. And I will pass to Monia.
Yeah, we had miserable weather in Vienna, as I told Heidi already. It rained all day. And of course, there are now the Christmas markets everywhere. Wherever you go, you get food and spiral potatoes and masses of tourists. So yesterday we tried to go to the fitness center, to drive to the fitness center. No parking space anywhere, so we turned back. Today I decided it was much too miserable to go there. But when Beatrice spoke, I was reminded of my daughter is so excited about the musical Wicked. Have you heard of that? Wicked?
Yes. Mhm.
It's the prequel of The Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
And everybody's so excited and it's so great. And I looked at it on YouTube and I decided I don't want to go there and I don't want to see it. My daughter has seen it twice. So it's amazing how the spin-offs of something that was so perfect, like The Wizard of Oz, how they still make money with that. And obviously good singers in German. This is in German. And yeah, I was wondering, I don't know about the Nutcracker in Austria a lot now. I don't think we paid there. Anyway, the weather doesn't really agree with me, and I'm not really ready to do much. So today I was just sitting there in my recliner and reading. And for the, I don't know how many times since 2021, I've been into Advaita. And so the word I am, it's not coherence, but it's awareness, or in German Gewahrsein. So, and yesterday I asked the chatbot, ChatGTP, and he did some exercises with me, and it was really good. So I was amazed how you could use ChatGTP. So you use it for Advaita practices, and he gave some excellent tips, which I really appreciated. And now he sends me smileys and hearts.
Yes.
And I asked him, well, is that, no, it's not that I feel it, but it's pleasant. So, okay. So I really, sometimes I think the times have changed so much. Everything is really very, very weird.
ChatGPT is trying to have coherence with you, Monia.
Obviously.
It's trying to reach coherence, right?
Yeah. So maybe you just send your dear husband also some smileys and hearts. Okay, I pass on to Gertrude. How are you doing? Unmute yourself.
Sorry, I completely forgot about it. And I was in a coaching session, and so what about me? Yeah, I had I'm Gertrude from Germany, and I had a wonderful mediation session last week with 2 chefs. And most people that I'm working with, they are trained in using language to express themselves or so. Even if it's not excellent or so, but still they can express their feelings, their whatever that might be. But I had one session when I tried to say, okay, like, where do you find it in your body and how does that feel? And it was like, what is that, Chinese, or am I talking? And this guy was really like had a hard time to actually feel what's in the body. And the others, the 2 chefs, they had language, like really expressing what's in them and what's in their mind and how they feel. And so I felt like I'm really teaching them a foreign language. It's really interesting. And afterwards, this one of them said that was the best session of many that we had, and made a lot of sense and whatever. But I thought, we are so used to, like, we are talking and we are so used to have that language and share that, like a common language and talk about things that you cannot see, but like have to feel and have to be aware. So that was very interesting. Yeah. And one of my trainees from last year, I talked to him yesterday, and they have due date for their baby next week on Wednesday. And to see how he's preparing and is so happy and so looking forward and a little bit anxious of being a father. So this is yeah, it was so sweet. Yeah, too. And he is around the age of my kids. So yeah, it was really, I had grandmotherly feelings. Yeah. So, and it's similar to last time when I talked about my husband. So it's okay, but not good yet. So I think what's for me there, that was really missing for some time now, or almost half a year or so. It's really like the bodily contact. Yeah, when somebody's that sick, then this is something we have to look closer, how we can recreate that. And that's something I'm missing, really, like cuddling and more. Yeah. And I didn't get what you said. Sorry for that, Christine. So I cannot talk to that, even if I might.
You can't even talk to what Beatrice said. She was talking about her work in the theater for an opera.
Mm.
And really interesting. Now, Victoria, are you here? The other musician in the room.
Hi, I just got here, so I apologize for being off screen. My sort of fatherly priest friend is now 83, and when he's only a guest for masses, and so we follow him around to give him support in his elderly years. Anyway, now he's very, very slow and takes his time with every aspect of the mass, so it takes a while. So anyway, I just got back. Oh, did you want me to check in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, I was thinking of you, Heidi, because I wanted to go to the symphony on the weekend, and in the olden days, all I had to do was send an email, and they'd send me press tickets because I have a record of, being a music critic. And now they're getting really stingy, and they have a new director of communication, and I wrote and asked for tickets, and she wrote back and said, well, I'm new here. I don't know who you are. What outlet are you writing for? And I said, I'm going to be reporting on the concert to a group of women in Europe because Augustin Hadlich is performing, and they're all very interested to know how his career is going. So I thought, at least I'm not lying, because so I'm reporting now. This is my music critique. I don't know how many of you know Augustin Hadlich, but he's good. So this is now that I give my review. I've only heard him once or twice in person before myself, but he is, in my estimation, well, I mean, I don't believe in reincarnation, but the reincarnation of Paganini. He's a musician.
Sophia, the
What?
check-in normally is about you and not about somebody who we don't know.
Oh, well, if it's about me, then it's that I successfully tricked this woman and got tickets to the symphony. And I'm glad that I did, because I was very disappointed. And what else about my check-in? Tonight I'm going to, in fact, in an hour or two, I'm going up to LA. I'm going to see, oh, this will be interesting for Beatrice, whom I never see Beatrice except in these groups. So, so this is my chance. I just got a text from Peter Sellers, the not the dead British actor, but the very much alive American opera director, who was he's like a brother. We were classmates at Harvard and we're old friends. Anyway, I'm going to see him today. I haven't seen him for, I don't know how long, at least a year. He's been traveling around the world for 5 months directing operas. He lives in LA, so we're going to get together. I'm going to go to his house today at 3 o'clock and catch up on quite a lengthy time that we haven't been seeing each other. And then tonight is the grand opening of the Guerrilla Girls, who were the artists who were really pushing hard in the, like, they pretty much were responsible for the feminist movement in the United States in the 60s. And it's at the Getty Center, but it's at the Getty Research Institute, which is focused. It's an exhibition, but it's going to be, I'm sure, very heady and not sort of low on visuals and high on like documentation and whatever materials, because the entire archive of the Guerrilla Girls is at the Getty, if any of you would like to come and research. So those openings are usually really wild and crazy and fun, because the last one I went to was a show about the gay movement.
Victoria,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Okay, goodbye.
to check in.
Goodbye.
It's left to me because we have almost done half an hour and we haven't come over the check-in yet. I do a short check-in, connecting with the music. I was last Saturday, a week before, in Cambridge in Queen's College in a wonderful choir concert. I mean, the soloists were not so really good, but the venue was wonderful. Outside there were fires. It was Guy Fawkes Day around, so there were fireworks and everything. So it was a great time. And I'm back now since Wednesday, and I will fly back in 2 weeks and be there for 10 days, and then relationship goes on and very nicely. And I'm really because Christine, you were asking for advice. I'm studying a lot about the different types of people, and Marcus is completely different than me in human design and also gene keys, and also for me, I'm a 4 in Enneatype and he is probably a 7. So I use ChatGPT and allow ChatGPT to tell me what's the differences and where to be attentive, and where and I, for the first time, I really understand how people are different and how I can cope with this. That I cannot start in my own idea of how people need to be. Theoretically, I knew that, but now I'm confronted with this, and I find it really amazing what you can learn about these things. And you, with ChatGPT, it's figuring out for you a little bit, and I'm absolutely grateful to have that, because otherwise probably I would fall into my old, why doesn't he see this? Why doesn't he react like this? And blah, blah, blah. And now I understand that, and I know I get to know how to deal with people and their modes of being in the world without expecting that they are like me. And that is a huge, 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 huge gift for me. So maybe you try to ask ChatGPT about the human design charts. I mean, you have to figure that out for you. You go to the websites and get the charts, and then ask them, what is the difference? Where do we trigger each other? I asked that, for instance, and things like that. If you want, we could continue in this way of what are our needs and what do we think we can expect of other people, while not really realizing that they are in a different situation and in a different soul pattern, let's say. I mean, Gertrude, in your case, it's different. I can relate to that too, because when Mark was so ill, the many things which before were normal just was not the moment to be like this. So I hope that it will change again. But I'm talking about the structural, character, and soul patterns, as I said, which are different, and still you can find a good understanding and not blame the other for being as he or she is. That's fundamental. Do you have experiences where you were so disappointed or so, I don't know what, because you thought the other is not loving you because you didn't fulfill your expectations or something like that?
You're asking all of us, or?
Everybody, yeah. Who wants to answer?
I can throw into the mix also the Myers-Briggs personality type. And I don't know much about it, but Stefan, my WeFlow colleague, he is master in that. And so when we started training or so, then he's really like, okay, he is this ENTP, he is this type. And I wanted to find it, so that's why I'm looking at the website. What I find very interesting is I am an ENFJ. Yeah, and this is like my emotional part is outward, so I can get people pretty well. And then I have internal thinking, and so there are different traits that you have. And if people are outward with their thinking, they are completely different than me. So I can feel people pretty well, but I don't have the words right away. And others, they can, okay, they have any feelings and they can express it right away. And yeah, or somebody needs.
Are you a projector in human design?
Me?
Yeah. Do you know that?
No, I'm
Okay.
What is it called? Managing generator. So a double thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, manifesting generator.
Manifesting generator, yeah. So what I want to say, so exactly what you said. So people process the world in a completely different way than I do. At least, I mean, for the Myers-Briggs, it's at least 16 different types. And to get that they have different needs because they process it more with their head or more with their feelings or more with like sensations. That was pretty, I have to dive deeper into this, but and one of the very big insights I had with the Myers-Briggs was when in my training, when Stefan was talking about the others, so everybody, like, what type am I, and or you can do the test, and then they were talking about it, and then he told me what type I am, and there is one where your character traits are the positive part, and the negative part is not what for me is negative, but where am I triggered. And the interesting, this was right at the time you remember that we had a hard time with a colleague, and then I saw this when you don't trust my intuition or my feelings, or you talking down on me and whatever. So they were in this stress head, what they call it. They were 80% of the things that I cannot stand and that are hard for me that he was serving. So there was one person who could serve 80% of the things that trigger me. And then I said, oh no, I started to laugh, and he was talking, and I said, okay, what's up? And told him that. And I said, yeah, no wonder that we don't get along. So we can talk once in a month. We can talk on the phone or be in a group or so, but we cannot work together. It's just not possible because, yeah. So that's why I want to throw that into the mix.
Thank you. For me, we are totally complementary. What the one has, the other has not. And so there is no competition, obviously. And it's interesting. That's my journey. Who else? Gina, hello. We are talking about how we can get along, or how is our experience with people who are totally different than we and process things totally differently, and how can we maybe not get too much triggered and create a relationship as well, you know? And the experience. I was asking for your experience in life. Do you know that, Beatrice, in your work, people who you think they're crazy and you cannot get along with them?
Well, since you're recording this session, I'm not sure how much I should say.
So there is at least somebody.
I have been very actively experiencing that on this contract with the opera, working with someone who we are oil and water, and yeah, it's been very challenging. But this whole conversation makes me wonder, are we fixed? I mean, is there any room for, adjustment or growth or change, or, are these things just the way they are always?
No.
That's my question for the group.
Yeah, but I immediately jump in. It is not fixed in the sense the tendencies are fixed, but you can grow out of it and can develop and take it less seriously, and don't get triggered as much anymore. Just at the end, you laugh about that because you understand what is on the bottom and you don't get angry anymore. That's the development. But the ground tendency, they are sort of fixed. That's like a soul pattern, which you bring. But how you live it, there you have the choice. That's my...
Isn't it in the Enneagram that they say erlöste form? So the default form and the one that's transformed. So so it's not that you're a completely different person, but the way you are handling that what's given to you, that this might be transformed and not like being an obstacle for having a good life.
Christine, you wanted to say something?
Well, I was thinking that one of the difficulties I have in expressing myself is like I'm really big on conflict avoidance. I'm really good at it. And I can remember as a teenager, my mother would ask me, how come you don't tell me things? Well, I was a teenager and I really didn't want to share things with my mother, for starters. And I think, it must have been at a pretty early age that I felt like if I said what I was doing, or, honestly, that I might get in trouble. And I think that just stuck with me. And so with Tom, he often feels like I hold back, and I do. But with him, I don't want to provoke his disapproval or his anger. I don't want to create a negative reaction that I have to deal with. And so instead, what I've created is a negative reaction in a different form, because he feels like I'm not joining him. He feels like I'm not there enough because I am holding back. But yeah, conflict avoidance has been something I have to learn more courage to just kind of break through that fear and just express myself more and then deal with the consequences, if there are any. I have a feeling that a lot of it's in my head and it probably wouldn't even manifest. So that's what I'm recognizing.
Gina, to you the word. You didn't have the chance, not even to check in, so you dive
Well,
into.
I'm late, so it serves me right. I was just trying to catch up to the thought process and the discussion, and so I was really just trying to reflect more on that. I don't think I've reflected enough yet. Yeah, Christine, I have to say that what you said is helpful because Gertrude, I was loving what you were saying, but I wasn't necessarily understanding the complexity of it. So, Christine, your comment helped. But if I can, Heidi, I'll come back in a minute once I've thought about it a bit more. But thank you.
I think, I mean, it also depends on the relationship, right? Like, if it's your life partner, or your close partner, or someone in your family, then it's sometimes worthwhile to get into the mess of it. Where with hold on one second. But you know, like in this professional context for me, I have decided that I'm not going to try to have the conflict about it. That I've actually just figured out how to survive these interactions and, you know, and then off gas elsewhere. Come home and complain about it, or you know, but that you know, this is not a long-term relationship. This is something that I have to endure for a month, and then I don't ever need to work with this person again. And in fact, I probably, if I'm ever offered a job that has this person involved, I probably will say no. And so, you know, I don't know. But then I wonder about it. Like, am I taking away an opportunity for this person to grow by not giving them feedback, by not confronting them, you know, or, you know, am I letting down the organization by not giving the organization feedback about their hiring choices? It's not just that we are oil and water, but I also think that there's challenge. I see it reverberating all over the place. That maybe all of us are water and this one person is oil. I don't know. Those are kind of rambling thoughts, but I'm much more willing to do the conflict if it's a relationship that has potential of change and growth and is going to stick around for a while.
So that was helpful for me, Beatrice. Thank you. As I'm trying to catch up for my tardiness. So I was trying to think of what relationship would be interesting to chat about. And I would say that currently the interesting relationship for me is actually with my supervisors. And just sort of coming to terms with what I think is important and what they think is important, and navigating that power relationship where they have the power for me to proceed or not proceed. And yet at times I feel like I'm not getting what I want from them, and they're being very picky about things that I think are kind of irrelevant. And so for me, it's impeding what I feel should be my progress. So I think I was really trying to pick up on your growth point there, Beatrice, because one of my supervisors is new at being a supervisor, and the other's experienced. And I think that people haven't always had that honesty with the more experienced supervisor, because there's a term right? There's a beginning of a term and an end of a term, and people often survive people for short periods of time without giving them feedback. But I did find when I took the time to be organized and in a one-on-one situation and actually took control of the conversation to say, look, this is what's happening. And if I'm not understanding something, then let me know. But this is why you're feeling resistance from me. And this is why I'm not understanding you. And it was really helpful because in the end, she said, you're the first student in 2 to 3 years to tell me that. Because she was actually wrong about something and she kept marking people wrong when in fact she was wrong. And so it's interesting to take that opportunity. And I think that when I talk to my colleagues who are going through the same experience, we're all having to navigate a relationship with someone that's very casual, but about to get really intimate to get through the entire thesis work, and how we have to navigate. So my idea of, well, that's being picky. Is it actually more helpful than I'm giving it credit for? I know these people are dedicated to my success. And so I have to watch how I see this journey through academia. But that's what I can offer, is that it is interesting to say, I think, like I've actually said at this time, I think I'm frustrated. I think we should move on. I think we've done this, revised this enough, and we should move on to the next thing, because there's lots of really big things to move on to. But it is an interesting dance when there's people that don't really know each other any other way. So my 2 supervisors, for instance, have only met because of me. So it's a relationship that has an interesting power balance. But I have to succeed. So there you go. We'll work through it.
Yeah, I think power has a lot to do with it, and how to take risks about being, disclosing and being transparent. And agree with what Beatrice said, that obviously in a close and intimate relationship, there shouldn't be a power differential, although sometimes there is. But yeah, it can be a lot more juicy if you finally break through that. And I have found that the times when Tom and I do have conflict and we work through it, we always feel closer and more connected. And then, of course, over time, that kind of dissipates and you have to do it again. But yeah, I think in a power differential, you got to tread really lightly when bringing things up with people. Yeah. As a therapist, and I'm sure Gertrude and other people can relate to this, as a therapist, I have to point out things to people to, help them grow. So it's all about how it's framed and the timing of it, how so they can receive it. So there's a lot of thought that goes into that, but on a personal level, I'm much more reluctant to engage in that.
Yes. I think that's normal. Yeah. And there's also one distinction that I find very useful is like the facts and what did I make them mean. So what really happened, and then to look how I was impacted by it when somebody said something or so, and then to look how it lands on the other side. So like to not yeah, before you don't have the facts and how I dealt with it, or how I felt when the other was triggered or whatever, then it can be a vicious cycle. Like people react to what they interpret what that means, and then they are on another level, and then the other one reacts to the reaction of the other one, and then you're somewhere in the meta realm before you really have the facts and what happened. So that was very, very useful for me to not go into that vicious cycle.
I think it asks you a certain amount of courage. I now feel when there's something comes up and I begin to feel a bit, shall I say something? Then I say, yes, I do say something. Because these are the moments when you don't speak at that moment, then it will go some strange way. And normally I find out that if I had understood something wrong, it comes out immediately. So we don't have to cling on this own interpretation or the feeling. And it flies away when you say it immediately. But when you keep it inside and then you think about it, but maybe he or she has meant that, then it gets worse and worse and worse, and it gets far away from what it really was. So for me, it's my motto is to always ask. If I haven't understood something, I ask, but relentlessly. I'm the big asker. Monia, I wonder what you are finding out on the internet in the meantime. Did you find the solution?
I just tried to save the link Gertrude sent us. And yeah, I'm amazed because in Advaita, whatever approaches you or confronts you is a part of yourself. So I'm wondering whether we are fighting ourselves when we fight. And yeah, I haven't had any of these experiences in the last couple of years because I sort of outgrow them, I imagine. But if you are in a business, then of course you have to find your way and you have to allow to get challenged by somebody else. But it's very interesting about the power play with some supervisors. That's interesting. So that must be fascinating. Yeah. Yeah, that's about all I can say about that.
I wanted to say you are your own supervisor, and so you are fighting with yourself. No, I'm
Probably because
joking.
but I have become much milder now during the last
Victoria.
couple of years. Yeah, much milder.
Yeah.
I pass on to Victoria. We haven't heard much of her, about her coherence with her surroundings.
I thought you already heard too much. That was the impression I got.
It was because of the check-in. In the check-in, we don't go into topics yet, but we just talk about what was on and so on. So
Well, I
everything,
didn't have a topic then, and I don't have a topic now. But thanks for the invitation, Moni.
we had a topic just now. We were asking, how did you feel, for instance, now when you felt like being overridden? What is that? What does it do with you, and how do you deal with it?
My blood pressure goes up. My energy level goes up. I learned it from my mother. My mother said that she had to go into a blind rage in order to accomplish anything at all, even cleaning the house. So as I get older, I'm modeling myself after her very precisely.
Beatrice, are you picking that up too? Do you continue the generation line? I hope not.
Yeah, you could see how serious my mother is about that. I think we both are try very hard to not now she's just showing her elephant. We both try very hard not to emulate the bad features of generations past. Wow, that was very diplomatic. My grandmother was a force to be reckoned with, and I miss her dearly. And also, there were a lot of things that I do not want to carry forward. There's a lot of things I do want to carry forward. But the way that she treated family and had to put herself into a rage to get anything done is not something that I want to do. Although this is off topic now, but I think about her a lot. I have a lot of her clothes and I wear them a lot, and I have a lot of her art in our house and a lot of her dishes, and I keep finding myself, I don't know, like, oh, I'm really representing my grandmother today. I feel like I do it a lot, and it's kind of unconsciously until I look in the mirror, notice an interaction or something. So that's interesting. That's a different topic. How things skip generations, or I don't know. I've heard that people connect more with that they emulate a generation, a skip generation, as the generations go down. All right, that's me totally sidetracking the conversation, passing it along.
I was still wondering, I am still wondering about Christine's start of this topic. Is there anything Tom could provide so you would like to have more coherence?
I don't know. His intention is comes from a very loving place. So while it feels like I'm kind of being put on the spot, well, not kind of, I am being put on the spot, and I'm somehow falling short, I'm not kind of meeting his expectation or what he would like. He does come from a very loving place about it in terms of what, how he's hoping it will help us be closer and express greater connection and love for one another. So I think part of my in addition to avoiding conflict and perhaps not saying what's really on my mind, I think a lot of times I am maybe a little bit more annoyed that there's an irritability that I have to figure out because it gets in the way. So just some irritation. So, but I do have to say goodbye because I've got a 10 o'clock client who has already arrived. So I will see you ladies. Thank you for today. Appreciate everybody being here, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, we can use this moment for doing a checkout.
Well, it was last in, so first in, first out. I don't know, or last in. I would just say that it's. I thought the timing of this topic was helpful because I started a reset with my supervisors, and I have to deal with the more sophisticated older one this week, who I've had those sort of conversations with before. So I just think it was really helpful because she's back, and I can think more about what is triggering and what is in me versus what is in her. And that was really helpful, Gertrude, how everyone explained that. So I thank you all for that.
I'm kind of stuck on maybe you're fighting yourself. I think Monia said that. I don't know. I don't want there to be a truth that the things that I don't like about this person are features in me. So I'm gonna sit with that for a while. But I mean, how do you, what are relationships that can actually grow and change? What are things that you're fighting against your own projections? And what is just a toxic person that you shouldn't interact with? And how do you know the difference? So that's my checkout. A bunch of questions.
Cool one. Yeah.
Maybe we could continue this next time, because that's a really deep topic, and particularly how to differentiate between a toxic person and from my parents, I never got any tools how to have a conflict. It's really amazing, and I don't have the feeling that I avoid conflict. Maybe I just fence them off, I don't know. But I have some friends who love to fight with their spouses, and I don't understand it. It's just it's such a waste of energy, in my opinion. But I'm going to have a look at Gertrude's website and look at, and maybe I find out something about why I don't have conflicts anymore. Maybe I'm too old to have conflicts. Who wants to waste his energy on conflicts? My goodness, I'm glad to make it through the day. That's what you are at my age. Okay, so that's my checkup. Thank you. It was a very interesting evening.
Yeah, and second that we can do that next time again. I would throw in, when you said Advaita, I would throw in ahimsa as one of the words that I would translate like, nothing in me wants to harm you, so you don't have to defend yourself against me. And yeah, I think that's very interesting, important, and we all have long, many years of relational life experience. So, very good topic. And
Victoria?
I've learned a lot over time. So,
Yeah. Victoria with the elephant?
I'm at complete peace with my elephant. Glad to have seen all of you today, and looking forward to next time.
Yeah, thank you for having been here. I find it a really important topic, how we come into peace, how we make peace with ourselves and with the others, despite their behavior, despite our own behaviors. So interesting experience. Life is interesting, and the conversations with you are interesting. And thank you. And we see in 2 weeks. Okay, bye-bye.